Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and I'd like to welcome you to Game 3 in a special Best of 7 series show match for $100 being played between Evil Genius's member iNcontroL. He is the red Protoss here on the left side of Lost Temple, and his opponent today, just like in the first two games, drewbie, the pink Terran, down on the southern spawn here, and we are going to see close flying positions TVP once again. Game 2 on Metalopolis had these exact same positions for these two players, so I am interested to see if we'll see things play out a little bit like they did on that map. Of course, if you were paying attention, I'm going to describe what happened in Game 2, but if you weren't, I would really love it if you went back and watched Games 1 and 2, because I'm going to mention them probably a lot. Not just in this game, but in the next one, and the next one, and the next one if there is one, and the next one if there is one, and so on. So go watch the first couple games if you haven't watched them yet. Watch these games in order. Anyway, what happened on Game 2, iNcontroL defended a sort of mini push from drewbie, and by the time he got it back over to drewbie's base for a counterattack, he basically slaughtered everything with nice force fields and a good stalker count. Drewbie just could not keep up with the forces that he had there at the time. He had a factory coming up and just didn't have any units there, really, to defend against iNcontrol's counterattack. He tried to stay alive, pulled a bunch of SCVs, tried to do some repairs and things, just didn't work out for him. But on the first game, drewbie did win with some very nice Reaper tactics. Reapers tucked up in medevacs. It was just all kinds of craziness. Dark Templar were in that game as well. But here we are in Game 3. Anything could happen here. Anything you can imagine with Protoss units or Terran units. These guys do it all. I would not be surprised to see Reapers or Dark Templar once again. This map is actually pretty good for Reapers. They have a lot of cliffs and things. Short distances between these two bases really make them kind of nice. It's just that you don't see them very often. And, you know, granted, I'm not a Masters level player. I don't ladder all day long. I'm not sure what's going on at the very tip top of these Masters divisions, but I can't imagine that Reapers are too common in there. I cast a lot of games from tournaments and things and just hardly ever see them, ever. So drewbie really kind of blew my mind there in that first game by getting all the way up to Nitro packs even, and 1-1 upgrades for Reapers. It was just crazy. iNcontroL has a probe in drewbie's base. He did a gas steal for the third game in a row. Must be his go-to strategy here against Terran players. And I mean, it's not a terrible decision, of course, because pretty much everything a Terran player does requires gas except for just Marines. And I know some people are going to say, haha, you can just build Marines and win anyway, but I'm sure drewbie would love to have an add-on at some point in this game. So he is going to start taking down this assimilator a lot quicker than he did there on Metalopolis. Maybe he felt that that slowed him down a little too much on Metalopolis, so he doesn't want to make the same mistake again. Tech Lab coming up on that first barracks, second one being built right next to it, just like the first two games. We see these two wrecks coming down first. Back in iNcontrol's base, doing the same old thing as well, sticking to what he enjoys and knows works. He's getting that second gateway. Would not be surprised at all to see a third gateway, and there it is, right on cue. So both players sticking to their guns. Drewbie just changing it up a tiny little bit by trying to kill off this assimilator faster. He got a second Marine, actually first and second Marine, rather than getting that Marauder with concussive shells instantly. Now he is getting it though. And a Reaper. Oh, I saw you, little Reaper. You can't hide from me. So drewbie is going to get Reapers here again. Like I said, this short little distance between bases is actually really pretty cool for Reaper use. iNcontroL built a pylon over here to give him the ability to warp down on this low ground. We just saw him do the same thing on Metalopolis, of course, with great effect, where you can cut that run distance by quite a lot, and I'm sure another pylon will reappear here somewhere near drewbie's base. iNcontroL does have control of the Xel'Naga Tower right now back at home. He's got a sentry out to block that force field in case drewbie shows up with a couple of SCVs and Marines and Marauders like on Metalopolis. But drewbie is going to be expanding much faster than he did. Actually didn't expand at all on Metalopolis, but he's expanding first before sending these first two Reapers over here through that short little distance. iNcontroL already waiting with a Stalker. Very good of him to do that. Both Reapers actually are going to be taken out there as they split up. They tried to do something, but at least drewbie got a sneak peek at iNcontrol's base, saw everything there was to see. He knows the warp gate tech isn't quite finished yet. Drewbie is bunkering up his natural. He wants to get this thing started without too many problems here. iNcontroL does have a probe getting discovered here by this SCV of drewbie, and they're going to go their separate ways. So iNcontroL darting back here a little bit, building a pylon. That's kind of surprising. Okay. So drewbie has 2 more Reapers already out. Back on the production tab, you see 2 more barracks being built, so he's going to go all the way up to 4, like we saw on Crossfire. Of course, when he changed it up there on Metalopolis, it didn't work out for him, so he's going back to what worked. iNcontroL did win with this 3-gate push here in these same positions on Metalopolis, so he's sticking with what works as well. Both players have some success already, and they want to try and repeat that success. But barracks number 3 and 4, I would actually be surprised if he added 2 tech labs on there again, like we saw in Crossfire. Really would expect a reactor here. I don't think he can continue to do medevac Reaper play on Lost Temple. It's just it's easy to stop if iNcontroL has enough stalkers to shoot down those medevacs along his southern cliff here, or his southeastern cliff. drewbie has a lot of bunkers here, though, at his front of his natural. He really wants to get that economic advantage. iNcontroL has a handful of Tier 1 units here, starting to move around. Probably just wants to secure the Xel'Naga Tower. No, they actually have an attack move queued all the way over to the other tower, so he is going to keep marching through the middle of the map. drewbie not adding on any other add-ons just yet. No factory going up anywhere. Engineering bay is going up, though. Turrets will be nice, of course, in case iNcontroL tries to get some Void Rays or Dark Templar out sooner rather than later. No expansion for iNcontroL yet. He is just focusing on chrono boosting these warp gates, getting out units as fast as he can. Actually, his chrono boosting is slipping a little bit. Ooh, that's why Stargate is up, so he wants to use all that chrono boost here to get this first Void Ray and probably subsequent Void Rays out as fast as he possibly can. Pylon going down here at the Xel'Naga Tower for iNcontroL. Let's take a look at drewbie. He is building a turret right here behind his bunker line, but I'm not sure if he's using it for detection or actually anti-air, and he doesn't know about the Stargate, so pretty much just covering multiple bases there with that missile turret acting as detection and anti-air. drewbie is getting a factory up now. Did he get +1 weapons started? No, he hasn't yet, so engineering base so far just being used for those turrets. Notice drewbie has a couple of Marines spotting on cliffs here in case iNcontroL starts to march through this visibility block area back here. We see him continue to warp in units down on the low ground. He's kind of spread out right now. Actually, he's got a handful of units here, handful of units here, handful of units defending from Reapers, a bunch of units here on the southern end here as he drops another pylon for spotting. But now it looks like he is starting to move with pretty much all he's got. All to one location, probably going to meet up here at the Xel'Naga Tower. First Void Ray is out. Second Void Ray, I don't see one building. It is actually is already finished, so Chrono Boost ending there on that empty Stargate. Not building number 3 just yet. Factory was finished, and more Reapers are coming out now. Nitro Pack's being researched for the second time in this series. We saw it on Crossfire SE. Now we're going to see it again. So drewbie planning on mass Reapers, perhaps. Of course, they are unable to hit air, so these Void Rays could actually make a huge difference here if iNcontroL pushes in. We see a pylon dropped right here at the gold base, so he can warp in right across that little chasm. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Force fields being dropped on that bunker immediately. More force fields going down to prevent these SCVs from getting anywhere close to the bunker, so they are pretty much all going to go down here. Reapers up on the cliff. Probably shouldn't have hopped down as they are taken up by the Zealots, but these Void Rays are at max charge right now. Both of them racking up some kills here. Sentries, Stalkers still pushing in. All these SCVs got pulled off the line. Obviously, drewbie doesn't want to lose them, but great force field there means that iNcontroL is going to be able to thin the herd. If we look at the army count real quick, it's 58 for iNcontroL, 61 for iNcontroL, 47 for drewbie. Void Ray charging up on that second orbital command, but drewbie is pulling everything off the lot right now. 4 Marauders, Reapers here getting gunned down. Lots of Stalkers still up for iNcontroL. They have 0-0 upgrades. drewbie's still at 0-0 as well, but +1 will be finishing here soon if he can manage to hold this off. There's no real anti-air here, though, so this Void Ray just going to continue charging up, blasting everything. It's got 13 kills. This orbital command might go down just from having the single Void Ray on it the whole time, but now iNcontroL realizes there's no real anti-air here. He needs to press in with these Void Rays while he still has this advantage. A couple of Zealots here on the low ground not doing anything. I'm not sure if Jeff even realizes it. iNcontroL, I mean, by Jeff. Add-on number 1 being exploded. Tech Lab number 2 being exploded. There are turrets up here preventing these Void Rays from really pushing it any further, but if iNcontroL uses these Tier 1 units to get down here and take these out, he could try and finish off the rest of the SCVs that drewbie actually has. It's only 12 Harvesters against 26, but drewbie, with all these barracks, this huge production capability, and of course Mules keeping him in this game, has just enough Marines and Marauders to break the ground forces here of iNcontroL. Still not enough Marines and turrets here to get these Void Rays out of his base, though. This one with 9 kills, a new one arrives with 0 kills. More Stalkers coming in now, trying to finish off that refinery, and another round of warp ends back here. iNcontroL really needs to get to work with his ground units to work in conjunction here with his Void Rays, I think, and he still actually has not expanded himself either, so if drewbie does manage to hold this, he could actually be in worse shape than you would imagine. But Now, drewbie does have a large number of Marines and Marauders, certainly enough Marines here with this turret to take out those Void Rays, and more units coming out all the time. He never got supply blocked or anything. The second orbital command from drewbie did actually survive. It just landed over here and got repaired up a little bit. Some 2 mules have been dropping at a time. Harvester count getting evened up a little bit more. drewbie's trying to catch up here. He's got 15 Harvesters to iNcontrol's 26, so iNcontrol did back off. He's got 2 Void Rays hanging out in the air, lots of Stalkers and a Zealot down on the ground. Back at home, nothing being produced. I'm actually a bit surprised. He just does not have enough dough to actually continue building like another robotics facility or Stargate or more warp gates or anything. And if, like I said, if drewbie's able to hold this off and iNcontrol doesn't have another Nexus up by then, could be bad for him. But turret goes down here. Barracks taking a lot of fire here, but drewbie moving in with a medevac. Lots of Marauders and Marines. They do have their 1-0 upgrades now. iNcontrol still at 0-0. And do they stim up? They do not have stim, but lots of SCVs being pulled here. Marines focusing down the Void Rays very quickly, and they're trying to get it down, and it actually does go down. Medevac being focused now by iNcontrol, but it will be killed off. Only 2 Stalkers left here, though, against a very large force of Marines and Marauders still. drewbie actually successfully holds off iNcontrol's relentless attack. This barracks might burn down. No, he is actually going to send an SCV up there in time. Let's look at the income count here. drewbie actually ahead on minerals just from having 2 mules at a time. He's way behind on gas, of course. It looks like he did pull a lot of SCVs and hasn't quite replaced them all yet. 18 Harvesters against 26. Now 20 Harvesters. He can create 2 at a time, obviously, out of these 2 orbital commands. And iNcontrol is now putting up a Nexus. Whew, a lot happening here in this game 3. These 3 warp gates are still being chrono boosted. There's no additional production structures up, just that single Stargate and 3 warp gates that we saw earlier. Now that this Nexus is coming up, though, Jeff is going to actually have to go into a little bit of a defensive stance here. He does not have a lot of units on the field, only 5 Stalkers and a single Sentry, and they are just going to hang out at home, trying to prevent a Viking from getting a peek at everything there. Good kill for iNcontrol there. Let's look at the army count real quick. We see 38 supply for iNcontrol and 50 for drewbie, so being able to hold all that off and still claw his way back into this game, pretty impressive macro from drewbie, not letting his guard slip during that huge push from iNcontrol. Metalopolis, drewbie just had no chance here on Lost Temple. He tucked away inside of his base, stayed focused and held off everything Jeff was throwing at him. Pretty crazy stuff there, but now iNcontrol trying to even it up here. Back at the army tab, I try to keep tabs here on the supply. Unit tab might be a better option right now, though. 7 Stalkers and a Sentry against 4 Marauders, 2 Reapers, 10 Marines, and 2 Medevacs. That's really quite a lot of units. drewbie has 2 medevacs full of Marauders and Marines up here, and a single Marine was actually left out, and iNcontrol is going to see that and kill it off. Did he see the medevacs? I'm not sure if he did, actually. Holy crap, that could be huge. drewbie nearly revealed his medevacs, but pulled away just in time. iNcontrol is going to back up to his natural anyway, though. Actually, probably all the way back into his main. No, actually, I don't know what he's doing. He's kind of bouncing around here. drewbie is still en route with these 2 full medevacs, though. How many Stalkers does iNcontrol actually have? He's got 7 here and a single Sentry. A robotics facility did come up, and a robotics bay is being built now. Still no forge in this game for iNcontrol, and drewbie has arrived on the cliff. Of course, iNcontrol's not going to see this until the Marines start firing away at his assimilator. iNcontrol has nothing in the air right now. No observers, no Void Rays, no anything to be able to spot this right now, so this single Marine going to try and bait these Stalkers from iNcontrol into the giant line of Marines and Marauders right here that can stem up and shoot down some units. This medevac right here, able to heal up this Marine, pretty much no problem here, and a Stalker does go down for iNcontrol, and while he's distracted over there on his cliff, a huge gaggle of Reapers, 8 Reapers at a time, moving up through that short distance there into the mineral line, and iNcontrol calling GG, now trying to make up his mind for what map he wants to see next. Too bad for iNcontrol. That giant push really had a lot of potential. Some things just kind of didn't go his way, and drewbie was able to claw his way back out of there and eventually push back. At the end of that game, it was drewbie's favored drewbie was favored there, 36 Harvesters to 31 right at the end, but a lot of workers obviously were killed off by these many Reapers. And iNcontrol proclaims Jungle Basin, so now we're going to go into Game 4 on Jungle Basin, see what iNcontrol has in mind for that map. Kind of an interesting choice in my opinion, but we'll see what will happen there in Game 4. One more time, I'm going to remind you about that mousepad giveaway. Go check that out before checking out Game 4. Here we go.